Joining us now, the Attorney General of Kansas, Kris Kobach. Let's take this story on. It's great to have you on the show, sir. Can you tell us why you joined a group of 20 state attorneys general and America First Legal to sue the Biden White House over those secret illegal migrant flights?
It's more than just the flying of them in. It's a massive parole authority, misuse of authority. To describe briefly what that is, the laws of the United States allow for the Department of Homeland Security to parole aliens into the United States. And it's not like parole in a criminal context. It's on a case-by-case basis. If someone needs urgent medical care or for some humanitarian reason, they can come in briefly, then they're supposed to immediately go out. But the statute in federal law says case-by-case basis. The Biden administration is using that to bring in over 1.2 million aliens a year who would otherwise be illegal aliens. There's no case-by-case assessment, and they're flying, many of them, into the interior of the United States. It is such an abuse of federal law, and Kansas and 19 other states are suing to stop this flagrant violation of the law.
So the suit, you're basically saying the President Biden is illegally setting up an entirely new parallel immigration system outside the constitutional control of Congress, that they blew it out to 30,000 a month, when under Trump it was just only, I think, a few dozen a month, right?
That's exactly right. Trump was using it as it was intended, and as presidents have used it going back to Eisenhower, just on a case-by-case basis. Suppose someone needs a life-saving operation and it's not available in their home country, then of course we in the United States will allow someone in for that very specific purpose, and then we will return them home as soon as they're done. Biden has turned this into a massive amnesty. And by the way, these parolees, these aliens with parole admission, they can get a work permit as well. And then they can apply for a green card as well. So it's become a separate gateway, a virtual amnesty. In fact, it is like an amnesty.
He's breaking the law. This is against the law. Again, this is the lawless Biden White House at work. This is what you're saying is this is a, quote, visa-free immigration system with minimal to no vetting. I mean, the federal judge, I think you guys point out in Texas, found illegal migrants in this program approved at a nearly 90% rate. That's guaranteed admission. So how can you do this outside the legislative powers of the U.S. Congress?
He can't, and that's why we're suing. And this administration has become so lawless. They want these individuals in this country so badly that they're just blowing the statutes apart entirely, and it has consequences. The killer of Laken Riley in Georgia, he was in the United States on Biden's parole. Corey Alvarez, an illegal alien on parole, was in Massachusetts and raped a minor in Massachusetts. You go on and on, rapes, murders. This has real deadly consequences for Americans, not to mention all of the U.S. citizens who are competing against these paroled illegal aliens for jobs. It is just outrageous. It hurts us economically, and it can be hurting us in a very physical, deadly way, too.
You know, we're seeing poor voters, lower income voters standing up and saying, wait a second, what are you doing for us? You're putting us at risk of illegal migrant crime. Now, people want legal immigration. You're going to hear a lot of gaslighting attacks from the far left that this is what we're saying is racist. It's not. Because minority voters, black voters, Asian American voters, Hispanic voters are saying enough is enough. You're hurting us. You're putting us at risk. There's no greater civil rights violation than having somebody murdered in their neighborhood by a repeat felon. Douglas County in Colorado, it's home to the city of Aurora, Colorado. It's now threatening to fine, even seize buses and take those buses if they drop off illegal migrants, saying no more free loading. It's a taxpayer who's paying for Biden's border collapse. The Biden White House has this moral vanity project when it's U.S. taxpayers paying for it in higher taxes and crime.
Every one of us pays for it, not only in the criminal threat, but as you pointed out correctly, higher taxes, because these individuals will come in. If they have any minors with them, they will be in our school systems. The taxpayers will have to pay for it. All kinds of health care costs, taxpayers will have to pay. Immense public benefits that inevitably flow to these individuals. We all have to pay for it. And the point of our immigration system is you're supposed to get a visa. You're supposed to be scrutinized before you come to the United States. And the visa process is actually case by case. But the Biden administration has made the visa process almost an irrelevant fool's errand. Why bother with that when you can get parole and just come into the United States, get a work permit immediately, you don't have to specifically apply for a work visa. It's outrageous.
Kansas State Attorney General Kris Kobach, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's good to see you. Coming up.